Hello, everyone. Welcome to Beneath the Hollow Moon, where the folklore burns slow and the strange never fades. I'm your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, and you are listening to us live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans. I'm here with my co-host, Lorilei Potvin. How are you doing? Tonight, we are following the trail of black-eyed kids and ghost children.
We sure are. Took me a minute. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, I didn't know anything about black-eyed kids.
I know tons.
So can we know, though? That's the thing. We hear stories. So are their stories?
Well, they're stories, but the fact that this phenomena came out almost 30 years ago it's going on, and it came out of nowhere, though there's a few random reports before, and then it's almost like it took off like a tulpa or something was created, because, and I have a few questions that I've never had answered. I want to know, why do black-eyed kids always have to be invited in? Then I want to know, why is the magic number of the year 2030? And I still want to know, and we're not talking about these last two, the one I just mentioned in this, what portals did the Pope open on Christmas Day, our late Pope that we had? Those are questions I have. And black-eyed kids, why do they have to be invited in?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh, we scared the hell out of Heidi Gall, she says.
Mission accomplished.
Yeah, we're doing ghost kitties and black-eyed kids. There is white-eyed kids too, and it's quite a bit more rare, I found, than black-eyed kids. I don't usually talk about them, but black-eyed kids, that is a creepy thing. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And for them, it was interesting. So I did my poll. We did the poll.
Oh, I didn't even see it. Go ahead, just share with the poll, and then we'll say hi to everybody.
Yeah, we did the poll. So those of you who participate, it's super funny watching. I don't think not everyone appreciates the polls, but you can scroll by the polls. Don't have to participate in the polls. I do appreciate the folks who participate, though, and I love that. And there was a number of people that responded and sent their ghost children stories to us, and we're going to read them tonight. So I appreciate everybody that has sent stories in. So the poll I put up was, do you believe black-eyed children are? Mm-hmm. And so I put urban legend, demonic, hybrid, or an alien. And so by far everyone chose urban legend. The next up was demonic. People chose that as the second, but the lead was urban legend. And that's kind of where I was falling too, until we did it. Like, I did a little bit more research, and then I'm like, I think them things are some kind of hybrid of something.
That's what I pick, hybrid. Yes,
I think there is some kind of something. Oh, good. I see some people are saying that they like the polls too, so that's good to know.
Well, we'll say hi in just a minute, and we'll read all their comments. But yes, the polls are fun. I've had such a busy day doing It Seems Like Nothing, including you got to experience that my dog has now learned how to lock me out of the house.
I love it when our pets become velociraptors.
Oh my gosh, yeah, but she doesn't have the little tiny, not velociraptors, but T-Rex hands when she figures it out. She knows that handle does something to the door to open. So I think she figures if she's just going to master it somehow by hitting it and then the claw comes down and it hits the lever to the glass door, and
so funny.
It's locked out.
And it happened real time. You had just finished telling me the story, and then we were talking, and she did it real time while we were talking.
But she only caught me once. I had my keys with me, because you guys, when she did it to me on the weekend, my partner Del was out at camp, and so I'm home alone, and I like to sit out in the backyard because the sun doesn't come there till the afternoon, so it's cooler. And the rule is, you're going to bark, you have to go inside. We're not going to have fun. anymore. So she was tapping on the glass kind of and making noise. So I was about to go up and open the door and say, "We need to be quiet and you can come out." And I'm going, "What? Why is this door not?" Oh my gosh. She hit the lever. I had to call my son to come rescue. Thank God. Thank God he was.
So funny. So funny. They know. They know.
Well, we've set up a contraption now that we can open the door and she can't with cardboard. So, because I was even thinking of 3D printing something, but it's like a hinge. So it folds over the door when you go outside. If she, because she does come out with me. It's just, she's going to act like a hooligan. You're going to go inside till you can calm down. That's all.
Bruce and Nora are too short to reach the rocks. Like, even on their, if they, stand up on their back legs, Bruce and Nora are too short.
Oh, I never would have thought in a million years. She's never done that. She's 6 years old. Never, ever. Shall we say hi to everyone?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's say, they got all kinds of things in here. So we got Mr. Mort.
Hi, Mort.
Hi,
Thank
Mort.
you for being here. Astrolite Paranormal. Victoria, hello. Thank you for popping in and saying hi. Heidi Goal, hello. Hi, Michelle Wilfong.
Hi, I'm going to give a quick shout out. We've got Chauvin Joyce. I hope I said that right, over on Instagram too, so I don't forget. And we got
Contessa Martins, thank you for being here.
We're not on TikTok tonight because they've banned me till after our show ends, and then they're going to give it back.
Kirby's 100, thank you so much for being here. Everyone's saying hello.
Ken Stockla, he's actually, I know him from high school. He said, very interested to find out. Okay. And this is the funny comment Heidi made.
Heidi is sharing, oh my, I just looked at my phone and you beautiful ladies scared the out of me. Amazing creativity. Not so much creativity. We were rushing in the last few minutes to put this together you guys. And so this is actually this. Do you remember I had something similar last year?
I do, yes.
And then I had to go to the laundromat. I had all my clothes
stolen. Stole it.
All my clothes. So I wanted to replace it, but I got like a one piece. It's so fuzzy and warm. It's got pockets for snacks. So it's jogging suit dress. Can't beat it. Pockets and everything. But when I put the hood on tonight, then I thought I looked more like a Sith Lord than I did like a ghost.
And then I said to you, now I can see it. I go, don't tell people because I couldn't see it before. You just look really spooky.
I will write with Star Wars. Okay, Denise Mitz, hello, thank you. Happy Thursday. She says great outfits.
Thank you.
Contessa Martins is sharing, I honestly know nothing about Black Eyed Kids. I didn't either. Like, I know that I've heard it in passing, people just like the comment, but I didn't know any of the stories or the urban legend. I didn't know anything about it.
I know lots. I've done a couple shows even on my previous network. My previous co-host on the network I was on out of Washington, D.C. We did at least one, maybe a couple shows on Black Eyed Kids. Mm-hmm.
Heidi is sharing, I love the polls and I love hearing the results. Me too. I find it fascinating. Mm-hmm. Cindy Waghorn is here. So surrender and shine. She is saying, hi there, Kerrilynn Lorilei. Looks a lot like the end of October tonight. It's going to look like this probably every night now. Mm-hmm. Till the end of October.
This is what's fun. But we both look forward, not that we don't look forward to our own shows, but we get to have so much fun because we know we're going to come up with something to dress up or have something cool and fun. We get Halloween every week.
Yeah, and it's true. It's not that we don't enjoy the other shows that we have with our network. We get to relax and play a little bit. And honestly, when we first started doing this, when we first started Beneath the Hollow Moon, we have done different shows together. I'm on yours and yours on mine, that kind of stuff. And we always get the weirdest EVPs. We get light anomalies. We get all kinds of weird stuff. So for us, it was let's dress up and see if it triggers stuff at the same time.
And we have. I know there's been shows you've said, I'll bet you we'll get an EVP. And I've said it to you a few times, and then we get an EVP.
Yeah. It's super. I find that part interesting, you know, whether it's the intention or not. I love it.
And Heidi said her daughter's doggy surgery went well and got her drain tube out today. Yay. Mort saying something about reptilian and aliens.
I look like a vampire.
Invite them. And Heidi was adding pause Malone. Her cat can't jump over the gate, I think she said.
Hi, Julie Dow. She's saying, good evening, ladies. Thank you so much for being here.
We got Julie Jean Bassett.
Hi, Julie Jean. She's saying hello to everyone.
I'll give you a quick shout out, Julie. She's got a course coming up, I believe, this weekend, beginner animal communication course. So check her out at juliejeanbassett.com, and she can help you with any issues or healings with your animals or Earthside or across the Rainbow Bridge. She's also a shamanic practitioner, very powerful healer on both of those realms. So you can check her out for that at whitetailshamanichealing.com. So, Heidi said something about triggers here.
Yeah, using triggers. So I was talking about us dressing up as a trigger.
Okay. Sorry, I'm a little slow. Yes. So we were talking. That's what took us a minute because I usually download a lot of stuff. We don't use most of it, but if there's something, and I don't always send you things, but I sent you this because this was pretty freaky deaky, was it not?
Yeah. So if you have not heard of Black Eyed Kids or know a lot, this video was super interesting to me because a lot of them just felt created. Like I didn't really find a whole lot that felt unless we were going to do one that we're just going to laugh at it and we know that it was made up, so not setting that. But this one is interesting.
Okay, so I'm going to make it big. I got to unmute it. Finally, let me make it bigger. It said I could go full screen because I tried that before I went live. So full screen. Are you gonna go? It was supposed to go big full screen and it didn't. Isn't that weird? I'll see if it will again if I hit the wrong button. Nope. I guess that's as big as it's gonna go because it was full screen before. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. I'm trying to make it as big as I can.
As an experiment, he set up his laptop camera to record overnight while continuously playing this low-frequency tone in hopes that he would actually lure a black-eyed child to his door and catch the incident on camera. On the first night, his laptop camera recorded nothing. On the second night, something activated his motion-sensitive outdoor light. But again, there was nothing on camera. Night 3, nothing. Night 4, still nothing appeared. But then, very late on night 5, something shocking happened. Someone appears on the front porch, standing and staring inside the house for over an hour.
Look at that. That is crazy. How long was it out? It was like an hour. It was out there for like over an hour.
As the strange visitor left, the investigator claims that he was awoken by the sound of movement outside and got up to check.
Hello? Hello?
There was no one there, but the gate to the house had been left open. Eerily enough, the man lives in a secluded area, only accessible via a long unpaved road through the woods, so any visitor at any time would be uncommon. But he says that this visitor was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I'll stop it. So, you guys, that was on TikTok. Somebody shared, but I know the voice is from Nuke's Top 5. When you see it bigger on the screen, it's pretty creepy, is it not, Kerrilynn?
Oh yeah, it's super creepy. It's super creepy. And it looks like a teenager. It looks like a teen. And just staring, like not really moving. So the questions that I had after was, we don't know some of the backstory. We don't know if the investigator actually told anybody that he would be setting up that experiment so somebody could be messing with him, showing.
I have questions.
Yeah, because they knew.
Because why low frequency? And
Exactly.
all the years I've known about this, what made this person decide to use low frequency? Because I've never heard of that before, pulling someone in.
Well, but we do know that we can do an EMF pump, like we can.
Oh, absolutely.
Those,
yeah.
Right. Or ITC, right. When we're doing spirit, like communication with the spirit box. So all of those tones are going to bring something in. But again, was it just a random guess? Had there been other conversations? Like, I don't know. Did he try?
I got questions. But the thing is, so I get it with the low frequency, but this sounded, you can almost hear the tone, right?
Yeah.
To me, and again, just what I know of it is that these seem to look like flesh and blood beings in front of whomever has had an experience. So I could sit, again, I haven't talked to anybody that's had a personal experience, but I'm thinking back to all of the cases I know. Nobody was purposefully, besides this gentleman, putting out some type of frequency, like to lure it in too, right?
But if they were wanting to investigate, you would have to try to set up some sort of experiment to see if you can make that experience happen.
I would never in a million years think of that as where I'm going with that. Like, yes, I've heard of an EMF pump, but like if you're dealing with something really otherworldly, maybe. Like for all he knows, then if that works, right? How do you know you wouldn't lure in a certain type of alien or Bigfoot? Or do you see where I'm going with this? Like, it just seems really odd.
For sure, you have no clue. And I was thinking the same thing. Like, just even, I know there are people who left their spirit box running all night long, thinking that's a cool thing to do. But any of that stuff's going to open up a door, and are you prepared to open that door while you're sleeping? So, that's the other part. If you're setting this up to see what would happen, are they making the assumption that they're going to knock on the door to wake you up? And if they were, isn't that part of the urban legend that they knock on the door and they ask to be let in? That whatever.
But not just doors, cars.
Yes.
Should we give the history? Do you want me to do the history? You want to do the history?
You can do the history. I looked up different theories as to what they potentially could be. Heidi is sharing that's creepy though, and why would you want to lure anything in? But they're saying investigator, so that's what investigators are going to do if you're curious enough, right?
I think she meant like black-eyed kids. So okay, so as far as I know with the history, and I hadn't looked it up. Kerrilynn and I were talking, was it yesterday or today, and you knew it better than I did because I kept thinking the guy's name is Dave.
No,
it's not.
That part I knew.
Okay, so the history supposedly goes. The legend of black-eyed children, often abbreviated as BEK and a little s, or black-eyed kids hyphenated, is a modern urban myth, which I then got deeper into the research and said, I don't want to hear about the modern urban myth. I want to hear about people claiming it's true accounts, people, whatever, because of course we know it to be a myth, but I don't know. I've seen a few people interviewed and whatever, unless they're Academy Award winning actors, every one of them, they had something happen to them. So back to the history. It's a modern urban myth rooted in American folklore with no verifiable historical precedents before the late 20th century. While some tabloid accounts claim sightings date back to the 1980s, in my research today, I didn't just come across tabloids. There were people very far and few between mentioning things like this. So back to the late 1980s or even the 1950s, most credible analyses trace its origins to 1996 when Texas journalist Brian Bethel shared his alleged encounter on a ghost-related mailing list. Bethel described two pale-skinned boys appearing about 10 to 13 years old approaching his car outside a movie theater in Abilene, Texas. They asked for a ride to buy tickets for Mortal Kombat, speaking in a very monotone, rehearsed manner. And that is reported usually. The kids are very monotone when they speak.
Mhm.
They also don't talk like kids that are normally that age. It says, upon noticing their solid black eyes, and it's in brackets, no whites or irises, Bethel felt an overwhelming sense of dread and fled. And that's usually what people report, overwhelming terror and dread. He later mentioned a similar unverified report from Portland, Oregon, which helped seed the story. The tale gained traction in 1998 when Bethel detailed it in a follow-up post, and it exploded online in the early 2000s through forums, blogs, and paranormal sites. By 2012, it inspired a low-budget horror film funded via Kickstarter, and a 2013 episode of MSN's Weekly Strange further popularized it. In 2014, the UK's Daily Star published sensational front-page stories linking sightings to a quote-unquote haunted pub in Staffordshire, England, claiming a quote-unquote shock rise in global reports. This media hype, combined with internet creepypastas and YouTube videos, has kept the legend alive, evolving it into a global phenomenon. Scholars like Sharon A. Hill view it as a classic, quote-unquote, again, friend of a friend folklore, similar to Bigfoot. So that's when that got me a little annoyed. You know, it's all a myth, Bigfoot, sure it is. Or phantom black dogs, with no documented evidence beyond anecdotal testimony. Parallels exist in older myths such as Irish changelings or Native American quote-unquote water baby spirits, but these are superficial and not direct ancestors. The only thing I'm going to add to this story, the people that have, because my one other question was too, well, what happens to the people if they do let them in? And there are stories of that, and these people have some pretty unusual, really awful illnesses like radiation poisoning, develop like a really rare form of cancer and are sick. Like a lot of things do happen when people report that they let them in.
Craziness.
Mhm.
Heidi is sharing sound frequencies have been used since forever. Maybe he thought that tone or hertz would attract.
Mhm.
Michelle Wilthong is sharing that. So true. I limit my investigation camera time because I have to close and clear out leftover spirit. So important to close and clear out whatever you let in. Agreed. And Michelle, that's what I understood too. A lot in Oregon. So Portland, Oregon, we call it P-Town.
Mhm. But they're always dressed like they just stand out, like their haircuts aren't cut like you. And I've heard reports it's always 2 to 3 kids, really, really drab, droopy, out of style clothing. I've even seen reports of kids dressed like they would have been in the 50s. They don't talk like normal kids. They don't act like normal kids. And people get this sense of dread always when they come up to their vehicle. There's a smell supposedly associated, like almost this really heavy, oily smell. Did you come across that, Kerrilynn, at all when you were looking?
Wow.
Yeah, people report a smell. And I was telling you off air, I think it was Wednesday, I remember seeing one report of this guy apparently had a career in the WWF, like not famous, but like a big guy. And then he went into law enforcement. He was about 6'6", 6'7", 335 pounds solid muscle. These kids showed up on his property one night. It's always at night, almost always anyways, knocking on his door. Can we use the phone? And he looked out and he said, like, the kids usually don't look up. They usually have their eyes down. He said the minute he saw these kids, he was terrified. He just felt like this dread and terror. And then the kids look up because they don't stop. They keep getting more and more and more insistent, and they have to be invited in. And so I as the story went, I seen this a couple of years ago. He grabbed his gun, I want to say, but like I say, it was from law enforcement. And he kept thinking afterwards, like, why was I so scared? Why was I feeling this way? Like I go after bad guys. I used to wrestle, all these things. He said he felt like a little tiny kid when you're terrified when you think something's in your closet. And he said eventually, I think he even called law enforcement, and eventually the kids went away. There was no sign of them anywhere. Law enforcement showed up, checked all around the property. Because the other thing I'm wondering, in this day and age, with security cameras, because I haven't heard a lot more recent reports. Did you come across that in the research? Because you would think a security camera would catch these kids.
Yeah, I didn't see any, but I did see that there were reports up to 2024.
Mm-hmm. That's you.
And,
Yep.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of them in that Oregon area, like in Oregon.
Mm-hmm. So I'm not like, and I do have a question, because I've seen other reports of, depending on who you talk to. I've also seen reports of people that let them in. Like I said, there's one I have a few that I researched and looked up, but it's just like they seem to come out of nowhere. Hi, Lisa, right now. Some people report the smell, and like they get very, very, very insistent, like yelling, let us in, let us in, let us in. And then there's been a couple reports, not quite common, where the kids say, oh, our parents are here, and they leave the door, and up the road a big SUV shows up, blacked out windows, and people report it would be what they would think to look either from the feds or men in black, pick the kids up and they're gone. So what are these?
So are they feeding off of energy?
Mm-hmm. Actually, never thought of that till you just said that. I wonder if that, because some people have let them in and they get, like, there's one report that we'll get to, I'm sure, in a few minutes, but this woman was hurrying home and picked up her child from daycare and ran into the corner store on their way home to go get some milk and a few things for dinner. She said she had the car parked right in front of the convenience store. So she wasn't even at a grocery store. And she left, I think it was her 7-year-old in the back seat. So she comes back to the car, and there's this strange kid in the back seat with her kid. And I'll just call the kid Tommy. She says, Tommy, who is this? Oh, it's a little guy. He was a little boy, a friend. He was knocking on the window, and he said he needed to come into the car so that we could let him use the phone. I don't know if it was a cell phone or what. And eventually they got this kid out, but apparently, like, the fear, the mother ended up calling the dad. He was on his way home. She asked him to come show up at the gas station. That's how bad she was, like, so terrified. And the dad came. The smell was in the car forever, this heavy, oily, stinky kind of smell. And I believe the little boy got sick, really sick, almost died. Like, and they couldn't figure out what it was. They thought it might be akin to radiation poisoning. And I think something happened to the dad too. I think he got cancer or something.
So then that makes you think maybe alien.
I don't know. Like that, I have no answers. Like, what the heck are these things? Because I asked for the specific reports, because, like I said, I've studied this for probably since it first came out on the, if it's that far back, like, it's got to be around 2004, 2005 when I first heard about this. Yeah, true stories. There's Brian Bethel's account, elderly couple in Vermont. Because I asked, like, what happens to the people that let them in? Because I knew I'd heard of it. There's a Reddit user's woods encounter, Sarah's Oregon doorstepping incident, Ohio's a snowstorm hitchhiker. And then I asked, what are these things? About the men in black I asked about, because I've seen reports of this. And then, like I say, they got into some of these stories about what people are saying that they had let them in. And they're saying oily or metallic smell. A few witnesses report a faint, unpleasant odor during encounters described as an oily, metallic, or like rotten eggs. This is rare, but noted in stories like a 2015 encounter where the smell lingered after the black-eyed kids. And I know it did with the little boy that let the other kid in. And there was only one with this little boy. There wasn't
right.
like
So if we were going to use the D word.
Yep. Hi, Joanne.
Hi, Joanne. Thank you for being here.
I think they are.
No, I don't think they are either. I was going to say most times if somebody was feeling it was that demonic sort of vibration or something demonic, that it would have more of a sulfur smell to it or something.
That's the first I've seen of rotten egg. It's usually this oily, heavy smell. Like, yeah, there was, so the convenience store intrusion and family illness. Because I knew about these. So I asked, like, can you find more info? Because I know I've seen them through the years. The Vermont elderly couples home, because they let them in. So almost every one of them had like an illness. Texas woman's partial invitation and health decline, because a lot of people get sick after if they do let them in. Almost all these people that I've looked up, they get really ill. Because I wanted to know that. Well, what happens? Somebody's going to let them in. You know they are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand why people would say potentially demonic as well too, because there's also that, right? They just slowly make you sick and turn you against each other and manipulate. So I don't know.
This feels, I never
They
considered
hybrid something.
Maybe they are feeding off the fear.
Yeah.
Because, you look at the old legend and lore with vampires, they have to be invited in. Demons, right? They say that you do, in some way or form, end up consenting to those type of encounters.
And how old are they? So could they be ancient that's connected to the land like forever? So are they like a good Stephen King story where they come around every so many years to feed off of, and then they
I never thought till you just said it, and I heard it in my head, maybe it's the energy they're feeding off of. Here's a picture I found a couple of weeks ago, and I saved it because I knew we were good. Okay, thank you. It keeps going off. This is what of course, I would believe their hair doesn't quite look like this or anything. But this is, I believe, probably AI or something that people have done a rendering of what they think they are supposed to look like. Very, very pale usually. I don't think their hair is quite that nice because it sounds like their hair is very poorly cut. Their clothing sounds like they may have got it, from some place like Salvation Army or wherever people go for secondhand things. They talk very monotone. So, and about the illnesses, if you want me to share that, I can, because it seems like a lot of these people that did let them in, they ended up with these weird rashes and illnesses. And then eventually a specialist would be called in. And almost always it sounded like at least one of the people, like if there was, say, one or two people that let them in, they finally were diagnosed like with radiation poisoning.
Right. Which comes along with alien stuff, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So hybrid with what?
I don't
know. Something dimensional and aliens?
I just had a horrible thought. What if they were something, we hear Rosemary's Baby and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe they're copulating with human females. I don't know. I don't know.
But they don't feel like children.
Oh, God, no. They look like them, but they certainly don't feel like them.
No.
I'll give you the story of the Vermont elderly couples home invitation. It's undated, but it was shared in the early 2000s on Paranormal Reports. Do you want me to share that one?
Sure.
Okay, so one of the most cited accounts involves an elderly couple living in a remote snow-covered town in Vermont. Late one winter night, they heard exactly 3 loud knocks at their front door. Peering out, they saw a boy and a girl, both around 10 to 12 years old, standing motionless, and they usually are motionless, in outdated clothing that seemed ill-suited for the cold. Yes, I've heard that too. So it could be freezing, snowing, and they're just wearing a ratty old hoodie and ill-fitting jeans. The children avoided eye contact and politely asked, "Our parents will be here soon. May we come in to wait?" Feeling sympathy for what appeared to be lost kids, the couple hesitated but ultimately invited them inside, believing it was a compassionate thing to do. The children entered silently and sat on the couch without a word. The wife went to the kitchen to prepare hot cocoa. Isn't that sad? They're probably this nice little old, grandmotherly and grandfatherly couple, like being kind, right? And it says, well, the husband attempted small talk, asking where they lived or why they were out so late, but received zero response. Their family cats, usually affectionate, hid under furniture and refused to approach. And that I'm glad that I saw that there, because most people's pets want nothing to do
Oh,
with
yeah. Then you know.
Yeah, then you know. As the wife returned with the drinks, she finally made direct contact with the children and saw their eyes, solid black voids like endless pits. An overwhelming wave of terror hit her. So that's what it seems to be too. Once people look into their eyes, like they see something weird, they kind of notice it's a bit odd, like because these kids sometimes show up in the middle of the night, like, and kids that small wouldn't be out alone, but it seems when they see their eyes.
So, yeah. Do demons have baby demons?
I don't know. Well, here's what happens. So we'll get to the illness part.
Sorry.
So anyway, oh, it's okay, because I got questions. We want to hear what you guys think too, because nobody's got an answer. I don't think this is modern. I don't think that this is folklore. Like a lot of people, I've seen people interviewed. I've seen people talk about their experience, and I believe they experienced something. So it says, okay.
Most of us would respond to a child. So there's some psychological manipulation in there.
Absolutely.
Or the thinking that the manipulation could happen. But most of us get super creeped out. The idea of that kind of stuff is super creepy.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what happened. She said an overwhelming wave of terror hit her, accompanied by dizziness and nausea. At that moment, the house power flickered and died, plunging everything into darkness despite a full generator backup. The children then stood abruptly and said in unison, "Our parents are here," before walking out the open door without another word. The couple, still shaken, followed them to the porch, and this is what I've heard from a few accounts, what's coming up. They then said, so they followed couple followed them, still shaken, to the porch, saw a black sedan idling at the end of the driveway. No headlights, no engine noise. Two tall, shadowy figures in dark suits. In brackets, it says reminiscent of Men in Black, and this is not the only story I've heard this happen on. Stood beside it. The children got in, and the car drove off into the night, vanishing around a bend. There's a little bit more. In the weeks that followed, the aftermath was devastating. A faint, oily smell permeated the house, refusing to dissipate even after deep cleaning. And that's usually what happens. And then it says the husband began suffering severe bleeds, with blood pouring from his face without cause. Both developed aggressive skin cancer, diagnosed as advanced melanoma, consistent with high radiation exposure, along with hair loss, fatigue, and internal bleeding. The wife reported burning sensations on her skin as if exposed to an invisible heat source, and their remaining pets fell ill, one cat hemorrhaging internally and passing away. The couple attributed these radiation-like symptoms to the black-eyed kids' presence, believing the entities left behind some toxic energy field. Tragically, both passed away within months of the encounter, and the story has been shared posthumously by a relative who found their notes. But this is common. Like if people let them in, this is common. What happens? Mm-hmm.
And the stories are backed up and verifiable, or the stories are like the telephone game where it's repeated and maybe added to?
Would I say that this is scientific evidence, that there's medical reports and stuff to back it up? No. Like they said, it's a relative who shared these. I don't know if these people kept notes or what they did, or like, did I speak to the mother? Have I seen a recorded interview? Because the next one's the convenience store intrusion and family illness, same thing. So it could be, I guess, sort of like the telephone, or they've been interviewed, or, it'll be featured on a paranormal type thing, but there's nothing verifiable. Like there's nothing, because to me, if you're that ill, and I know over the years I've run into people that didn't with this research, but I've run into people that have had talked about their medical reports, like they were willing to surrender the medical reports to prove that this is
Yeah.
what they're diagnosed with.
And more people have agreed. Cindy Waghorn is sharing, yeah, that is creepy, something without a soul. More and more people have ring cameras, door cams, cell phones on them all the time. You know, people are quick to catch, you know, the person being rude to the clerk at the restaurant. So, you know, you would think there'd be some CTV or CCTV footage.
But why did all their lights go out?
Yes.
Even with the backup generator?
Yeah.
Like, are they able to manipulate camera equipment too? I don't know.
Are they, or is it the beings that are in the vehicle that are strong enough to manipulate those situations as
And
well?
the vehicles don't always show up, okay? I've heard reports of this. The other thing is, though, there have been reports of people calling law enforcement and cops getting there pretty quick. And it's like as much as these kids seem to appear, they disappear. Like they're looking around, there's no signs, there's no footprints, there's nothing. Are they interdimensional? Because that's what got me thinking, like, really, is this a type of hybrid or experiment? Because again, we have no verifiable proof, but except for people's accounts. Some people have said exactly this. The kids will stand up and in unison say, our parents are here, even if they're outside. Like there have been people that, I think the cop that I talked about, the ex-WWE wrestler / law enforcement officer, I think he called the cops, and before the cops got there, the kids, like it looked like the kids were getting into a vehicle similar to the one that I just read about.
Interesting.
And why do you have to be invited in? Like, what is that? Are they harvesting energy? Is that what it is? Are they harvesting energy and they're just trying it out to see how it works? Or, you know?
So, and did we talk about that before? Like the harvesting of energy, like, you know, at amusement parks, the way that they're set up, there's,
Yes.
you know, when we're screaming and we're scared, and is there energy that's being harvested there, and malevolent beings that feed off of those sort of emotions. So I don't know, that's a possibility.
Like I said, because we said we would do these creepy dudes, the first part, well, I call them dudes, but whatever, and then we get ghost children, because I don't know what they are. What do you guys think? Like, what's your thoughts? I know a lot of you maybe haven't heard of this phenomena before. There's white-eyed kids too, but it seems to be like a different type of scenario. Like I never really was drawn to that part about it, because there's enough reports. They seem to, I haven't heard too many as of recent. I know there's been some since 2024, but like when it started, it really started. Like there, especially around the mid 2000s to like from about 2005 to about 2014, there was a lot of reports.
So Carrie, that's what we thought, right? Yes. Harvesting energy. So Carrie Fast, we appreciate when you pop in and share what you know. So Carrie is sharing, hi everyone, to answer your question, it is a contract of agreement when you let these ones in. It is harvest energy. That's what we said.
They are real.
They are real.
I believe they're real. Mm-hmm.
But real from where? Created from where? Like, are they, how old are they? Because they feel old.
Plus, it almost feels like to me, and I don't know why, the Borg from Star Trek, like hive mind, like when they all stood up and said, our parents are here, and walk like they do. They kind of talk. There's been reports that they all talk at the same time. They don't talk like normal kids. They talk in a monotone. They can get very loud and very, very, very persistent. I know that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I have connected with someone, and their story was not about a child, but their story was with someone and who
Interesting. Go ahead. I'll put that up after, sir. Go ahead.
Who talked about someone whose eyes went all black, and the things that they said they were going to do to the people that they work with happened, and talked about who they had agreements with energetically, and that was all more demonic sounding and in agreement with that sort of energy, right? And I had not heard of a lot of that either. Like, it just doesn't come across my radar with the work that I'm doing very often. So, that was shocking. And that conversation happened in the last couple of weeks when we were preparing for this show, which I found interesting.
I came across this story. People write in their stories to her, and she reads them and tells them. And it was really a weird story because I was looking for short clips or videos or anything caught on camera with black-eyed kids or ghost kiddos. And somebody wrote in as a teacher about this little one that showed up out of nowhere, and her eyes were completely black. She said she was just wondering if it was a genetic anomaly or whatever. Kid barely interacted,
Illness.
No, she was fine. She was fine,
Mm-hmm.
but very, very odd. Then the parents came to the parent-teacher interview. Dad was wearing a suit that looked like it had never been worn. Both, I think, don't quote me, but I think they both had similar kind of colored eyes. And they had a really odd interview, including the teacher was very concerned about this young girl's social development. That's how little she interacted. The kids wanted nothing to do with her. They didn't want to be around her. And then the mom started talking about, well, has she mentioned? And the dad's shooting the mom a look kind of, and the teacher goes, mention what? Well, sometimes our daughter happens to talk about things in the future that happen. Anyways, long story short, apparently the next day, kid never showed back up at school, went to the office. There's no records of this kid being ever there. And then I guess, how kids get a class photo. The kid was there for the class photo. There's no pic. The kid's not in the photos, and none of the kids remember her being in the classroom either. It's a really
So,
weird story.
So is that a time?
I downloaded it. I can play the video, but that was the gist of it. This teacher has not forgotten this. She said, it was so odd and strange. She said the child had black eyes. That's why it came up in my search. It was quite odd.
Interesting.
Carrie, this is interesting. I'd love to know how you know all of this. I don't doubt you in any way, and I really appreciate your feedback because you've been the first person I've ever met that is able to offer this, and it resonates yes, this makes sense.
Agreed. Carrie is sharing they are clones used by technology to project in by a lost soul demon or demon.
That makes sense to me. Everything you've shared, you've been the only person in all the years, because like I said, I've done shows on black-eyed kids before, and I've never gotten any answers like that. What is it? That feels like that could be something, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Vanessa Burwell is sharing, I had a dog that changed eye color when you got mad at him. So creepy. That would be creepy. Creepy. Carrie's saying, thank you. Lots and lots of research in my battle in the realms. Thank you for your experience and knowledge. And so in your research, Carrie, if we can pick your yes. in your knowledge, if it is an agreement on a soul level with the people who are contacted who have agreed to let them in or to have that experience, how would one, can you negate or let go of that contract or agreement? Is it a potential outcome to that? Is there, where does free will kick in?
Well, I think the free will, just answering. And again, Carrie, thank you very much, because I really mean that. You're the only person that has ever come up with something that, and I see that and I go, yeah, that makes sense. Same as you mentioning, maybe they're harvesting the fear, the energy from the fear and the terror it generates. And then if they leave that smell, I'm almost wondering if it's an energetic trace back to them. They're still continuing to harvest. That's why people get ill. Like they get the radiation like poisoning, or
Well, I don't know. Are they sucking it up and then
that's what I
having
mean. Are they
but I
sucking
mean a belch out after? Do they belch out and that's the residual stuff, and the residual stuff that they leave behind after, you know what I mean, after eating?
It feels like they're pulling out the life force. Because people report if you've got that smell, you can't get rid of it. Like the lady, the convenience store car, she could not get rid of that smell out of her car. Never heard the rotten eggs before. It's always a thick, metallic, oily, really repulsive smell is the way people have described it.
Right.
Yeah, it's creepy.
I don't know. I think that maybe the smell or whatever that is, that oily residue, that like ectoplasm, you know, like it's leaving something behind, and that's what makes it.
Okay, so Carrie's answering your question if you want to read away.
Yes, repent, break contract. I use these words, the Lord's Prayer, as a template. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive and release those against us. That makes sense.
Probably adding something else. She said to start. So, no, I appreciate this, because like I say, to me, you know, it's got elements of what we know that you, again, they have to be invited in. Is that how they counteract your free will, right? Because then if you do agree to let them in, right?
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Interesting. I want to pick your brain on all this, because that's why I've been fascinated and horrified about this story. Because to me, if there was just a few things out there that it really kind of went viral, and, you know, yeah, and the story's really been changed with the telephone game, which we know can be. But this really seems to be like, when I've heard about people that have done these reports, like it's been a couple magazines like Paranormal things that they've shared their story, and they seem so similar. Sorry, you were going to say something.
Well, I was just thinking about the video that we played at the very beginning, Carrie. I'm not sure if you were here for that. We played a video of an investigator who played a tone on his laptop, pointing out, setting the intention to have that experience and connection. And it took 5 days, and on the 5th day there was something that showed up at his home. So that would be, you know, giving that free will. Like when we're talking about free will and allowing that connection, he gave his free will to allow that to happen.
Well, I have another video I found that went more into the history. Now for the thumbnail, these are black and white photos. They don't look recent. They look like they've been taken from the 70s. And I don't know if someone got a picture of this kid or not, but the eyes are all black. Okay, so Carrie's adding.
That makes sense too. So Carrie is showing us to remove the portal or soul tie. I talk about that stuff a lot. Created on both sides. Ask to remove the tech on kryptonite channel to lake of fire. Ask the silver channel to soul spirit or spirits caught to recovery to third heaven. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Yeah, so should we do our station ID? I told you, if we got talking about this, people are going to talk about it, because a lot of people have never heard of it, or other people have heard a bit about it. Like, it's a fascinating subject, and it's not something that's super huge like Bigfoot or aliens or ghosts or things like that, or cryptids, but it exists.
Am I doing the station ID?
If you don't mind, or you want me to do it?
Certainly.
Okay,
so if you are just joining us now, thank you so much for being here and being with us. You are listening to Beneath the Hollow Moon. We are We are live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in New Orleans. And I am your host, Kerrilynn Shellhorn, along with my co-host, Lorilei Potvin. If you would like to know more about the different hosts that UPRN has, all the shows, there are so many shows and thousands years of archive shows on uprntalkradio.com. You can find out more about us there. Anything else I'm missing?
You did it all. I got an interesting ghosty child. I don't know if did you have some info on that you want to share? Because I got one that looks like a shadow of a ghost child behind an illuminated frosted glass window. And the person opens the door. There's nothing there, but it looks like a child.
Oh, yeah. Did you want to put it up?
Sure. I've got some. Do you have some facts on it, or you want me to?
You know what? I didn't necessarily do a lot of facts about ghost children. I think that certainly have had experiences. They feel energetically different if it is something else that is mimicking or pretending to be a child in order to draw you in and have that interaction, and when it is actually a ghost child. Frequency and energetically, they feel different for me. And most times I feel that people can tell that as well too, especially when we're on investigations.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised in where I've come across this, and I'm always try to remain objective. But I'm a little sus when you hear about, or you're watching something, or people are talking about a ghost child, because knowing I never ever wanted to know about the D word, but whatever was in my house was pretty dark and evil. No, I did not have any ghost children, but what's the best form that you could take to worm your way in, especially if you need permission? A child. Now, somebody like yourself that's very sensitive, I think I'm pretty sensitive, but there's a lot of people that aren't. And that's the part that's difficult, right?
Right. So from my experience only, and I'm not saying that I'm an expert. From my experience, what feels lower, that where they're mimicking or pretending to be, other things are happening at the same time. There's other experiences that are like the illnesses or beyond the haunting. Ladies, thank you so much. They're saying, hi ladies, looking good, very interesting topics. Thank you so much for being here and chiming in. Folks, please watch Beyond the Haunting. Yeah, we do. We adore Beyond the Haunting.
Not all of you, but
yes, Leanne, Corinne, and Kelly, their special is coming up in October. Yes, and they are now on APTN as well too. So you guys can check out the shows there as well.
So I have the little ghosty video. Do you want me to share it? It was interesting. I was looking for a few things. I found a few things. So hang on. We're going to make it bigger, guys. Hopefully it's going to go bigger. Let's see. I got to unmute. Okay, didn't mute it. Good. Let me see. We got a lot of stories too, which is really cool tonight.
Yeah, we do.
Hello.
It's the silhouette of a childlike figure standing behind the shower door.
Sorry, I thought it was a mirror.
I just felt something staring at me. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to mess around, and started recording. I didn't see it personally with my own eyes. I seen it in the camera. It was scary.
The figure remains completely still.
Did you say something, Kerrilynn?
Yeah, I said it's super interesting because I've had that experience where when I'm looking in the camera, I'm seeing one thing, but in my eye, like off the camera, it's not there.
And I think that this, just from the voice that's narrating, this is taken from one of the bigger TV channels that reviews hauntings and things like that. Like, we're not talking about, a paranormal show. Well, I can't remember. I can't think of one that would be out there, but people, they look at different phenomena and report about them. So you've had this happen too. So it's not that long. So I'll continue sharing it. Hang on.
As if it's trying to evade detection, until it moves ever so slightly.
Who are you? Hello?
Marlene leaves the bathroom in a hurry, shaken by the experience, and posts the video to social media, hoping for an explanation. Instead, she gets some doubters. So she returns to the bathroom later with her son.
Excuse me.
Stand in the shower real quick so I can show people something.
Oh my gosh, your
please.
son's your kid.
A lot of people were commenting saying that I put my kids into the shower and recorded the video. So I put my son in the shower as a comparison.
Clearly, the two figures are distinctly different.
Yes, I thought that was kind of cool to share that.
That looks like an alien. That is a little gray.
I don't know what it was. I just thought it was cool. It might be another one I have because I downloaded quite a few before I ran out. We're lucky my computer, you guys, is hanging in there. My charger went on me, so to run out, go get something to work, and it's working. Yay.
Yeah.
But I did download a few, and then you sent me a picture. I didn't know if you wanted me to share that or where you want to go with this.
Sure. I mean, we can. It's interesting. We can get a lot of conversations going about pareidolia and all that kind of stuff. There was 2 photos from that experience, and this was one of them. So I met a lady, Tamara Brennan, from where I live, and she does spirit photography. And so she sets you up in this dark room, like in a black room, just used a regular digital camera. And this was like,
This is the one, right? I'm going to pull it up because it'll come up probably right away.
yeah. So it was 10, 11, 12, at least 12 or 13 years ago. And she asks you to think about who you would want to connect with on the other side. And I had a number of miscarriages. So in my head, I was thinking about who I would want to connect with on the other side and show up in a photo that would be awe, like make that awe happen for me. So I thought about the babies that I had miscarried. I thought about my great grandfather who I'd never met in person, and I wanted Archangel Michael. Those were the 3 people that I was thinking about that I would want to show up. And so she gets you to stand with a shadow box. It's all black like it is in here with no lights. And she just snaps the photo. So that image to the left is the flash from the digital camera, which is a regular digital camera. And the images, my great grandfather showed up completely. Like you can see his full big like mustache, his
Is that the one that you showed when we were on one of the? Oh, that was an incredible picture. Wow.
Yeah. So it's the same photo. It's in that same shot. So, whether it's pareidolia, if it was the spirit showing up for me in that photo, but I know that the kids in spirit show up quite a bit for me, and so that was it was just interesting. It's interesting.
I love it. I don't think it's pareidolia or pareidolia. I think it's it almost looks like, if you will, a fetal form.
Yeah, it's very tiny baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I thought it was comforting, and I think that's where I'm super careful when people send me those photos to look at, in remembering to also try to meet people where they're at, because belief systems play a big part in this as well too, right? And still being able to educate people at the same time.
I got to tell you, though, if I had a client come to me and had shared a very touching story, and I thank you for sharing yours with us. To me, I wouldn't lie to someone, but I don't think I would say to them, oh, it's just pareidolia. I think that would give somebody some comfort, and you know what? And if it helps with the healing process, who am I to tell someone that I think it's just that pareidolia? repairability.
Yeah, and I find with photos, taking photos on investigation, sometimes things don't, especially with the Polaroid camera, they're not always there right away. Like when you see them the next day, then there's something there. So I don't know.
And again, I would never lie to someone, but I'd usually ask them, like, how does it make you feel? And, you know, recently, even with a client, they were smelling men's aftershave. And they were jokingly, good sense of humor, said, I've had men in this house for years. Anyways, they're very intuitive, but they're working on their gifts. And so I gave them some homework with their consent and said, if you can, make sure you're grounded, take some deep breaths, and where you smelled that smell, just sit with it. Sit with it and see what it is. And they picked something up and they wanted to know, what did I think? And I didn't answer, because to me, I'm hoping to be with guiding them, but if this is what they feel it is, feeling in deeper and deeper into it, and what are you picking up, and so on and so forth. And I think they might have been on the right track anyways. Again, I don't like to tell somebody unless it's obvious. If it's obvious, like if they had said it's Santa Claus or something, and I'm being facetious here, I'm going to say, well, I don't know, I need to hear a little bit more about why you think it's Santa Claus, kind of thing.
Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, definitely kids there are kids in spirit or ghost children that show up on investigations quite a bit. And from my experience, they have a history attached to the location. Other spirits there with them as well too. So it's a sense of home. And I know on another investigation we had a little girl that died traumatically, that just didn't seem to want to cross over. I couldn't get at that point in time, crossed over at that time, and kept holding Jodi's hand. So we had some very interesting interactions with her. Like the temperature was drastically different right at Jodi's hand. And
you find middle one's energy is faster too. Like it's faster. I don't know what word to use. Like I know when I've talked to other people that encounter younger kiddos and stuff. I don't know if faster is the right word, but that's the word they used. It definitely feels different than from an adult, definitely. But
well, and for me, energies that are not crossed over, energies that are crossed over and popping in to say hello, and energies that are stuck, totally right? Different. They all feel different. Energies that haven't crossed over and are still earthbound, they all feel very different.
Yes, absolutely. But I thought I would ask you that. So we have quite a few stories, and we run it out of time. We never have enough time. So should we get into some of these stories tonight? So do you want to read the first one or the...
Sure. I'm just going to pop in where
I have another ghost picture too while you're reading if you want. This is one that showed up. I forget what the reasoning is behind it, but it was still a crazy picture. This was published somewhere. It looks like it's quite old.
Carrie, when I asked about that, instantly that energy went away. So we've gone back a couple of times, and we do plan to go back again to see if we can make that happen. So Carrie is suggesting ask for an angel, which is what I usually do to help bring a child over. It does usually work.
This is this child that showed up, and this is I was just looking it up. I can probably find the story, but I know we've got our own stories, but I don't know if you can see the child up towards the Christmas tree. So this looks like this is quite an old picture actually, that was caught on camera. So old style type, like it looks like they're still using popcorn strings and stuff with the Christmas, but can you see up at the top, this was caught on an old style camera. I'm trying to... Go ahead.
So could it be too like an exposure?
It could have been. I'm trying to remember what the story is here. It just was interesting. I thought like there's a, because this time I was pretty specific with my, because usually if I get links if I'm using certain AI for searching or whatever, they always want to give me, sorry about that guys, hang on, they always want to give me links that never work. So I said, if you're going to send me links, please make sure they work. As if you want to send them to me on X or whatever you do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. It was just an interesting picture, especially.
I think it is too. I just have different thoughts. I agree. It was an interesting picture, and I was going to say I'm always wanting to believe if that's a family member, I just want that to be real for them. Like I want them to.
I'm looking for the story. I think a full body child. That's not it. At Rosemont Mansion, there was a whole bunch of them in here that they sent me, and I tried to just copy and paste and have a quick look, but I agree. It could very well be a double exposure to the, like, just because it's older photographic equipment, it wasn't 100% accurate all the time either. I mean, it was less manipulatable than today's things, but we have to always debunk, right? And I think that's a good thing to stick with. We always need to debunk things or consider other possibilities.
Yeah.
Not always a ghost.
I agree, Carrie. It might be stuck contact to the earth, say the Lord's Prayer with them. I hate hearing about little ones stuck. Agreed.
I think we all do. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
I used to work in the NICU. I think I was saying this to you. I have said many times, and I wasn't a mother yet, and it broke my heart working up there. But now that I am a mother, I could never work with kiddos. It would hurt my soul. I'm not kidding. It really, really would. Mm-hmm. Connie has a question.
Contessa Martin's asking, I have a question. When the spirit crosses over, how is it that they come to visit and are able to go back, yet some spirits remain? Do you think it's unfinished business? I've always felt them as omnipotent, like an angel that can come back and back.
Perfect word. Perfect word. Mm-hmm. When my son passed away January 15th, as you well know, I've shared many times this year, and I find that he's not around as frequently as he was in the beginning, but I had no doubts about that he hadn't crossed over. And I love that you use that word omnipotent, because that's exactly what it is. Not limited with a body, right? And the frailties that we have as a human being physically.
Yeah. And the frequency just feels different for me when they are stuck. It sounds like the teacher from Charlie Brown. It's got this muddle, and it feels like slogging through mud.
That's what I was going to say. Heavy, sticky. That's where I was going to go. That's what it feels like to me. Like just heavy. There's a difference. There's a difference, definitely.
So the first story is from Linda, and I shared that photo that we had because it felt in alignment sort of with the story from Linda, and then we'll go on to the other stories. Okay. So Linda is sharing, about 14 years ago, I experienced several months of knowing I had a little spirit sitting in my lap at night. It only happened if I was alone in the living room. My cat would stand on the arm of the couch going crazy, batting at the air above my lap. One day, my friend Linda Doyle, a gifted psychic, was visiting me. She looked at me and said, "You have a new entity around you." I immediately responded saying, "I know, a little girl, very tiny." I couldn't see her, but I could feel her energy connected to mine. Linda described her as absolutely angelic. She said her only purpose was to bring joy. When my daughter told me she was pregnant, the visit stopped. Jade Nevia, heaven backwards, arrived, and I knew immediately she was the soul who had been visiting me. From the time she was very small, she would sit in my lap for hours, not wanting to play with other kids, always just wanting to sit in my lap or as close to me as she could. My daughter moved in another city then, and would randomly come to visit because she said Jade was pining for me and asking to come. Jade, truly still at 13 years old now, is angelic and brings joy everywhere she goes. One of her challenges will be wanting to make others happy over her own needs and wants.
Thank
you for sharing, Linda.
That really is a beautiful story. And I love it. I really, really love it. Um, I'm wondering, and it's the fact that you made that connection to Linda, like, right, about
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't want to say spirit, the soul of this child that was coming to join your family. Do you want me to read Donna's?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so Donna sent this. I didn't see a child's ghost, but I was a secondary leader at a Girl Guide weekend in Michigan probably 40 years ago now. I was 24, 25 years old at the time. Our girls were invited by the Girl Scouts to join them for a weekend, but I can't remember where in Michigan. We were on a huge piece of property surrounded by forest, but were sleeping in a large cabin on the floor in sleeping bags. In the cabin, there's probably 30 of us. Sorry, I lost my way there for a minute. Something woke me at the time, and I was sure someone had called my name. Excuse me. And in an unknown environment, I probably startled awake. None of the girls were up or even moving, but a shape caught my eye moving amongst the girls. To me, it looked like an older woman, grandmotherly kind of vibe. I think I asked her who she was, and I saw her look at me, but continued to check on the girls. And then I just didn't see her anymore. It was unsettling, but I remember not mentioning to anyone I was with at the camp about it. Plus, no one made a comment about talking with me in the night, so I ruled out another leader being awake. I did mention it to a close friend a few years after the fact, and my mom even more years after. Not uncomfortable with ghosts, uncomfortable with people's reactions to me with ghosts at the time. Sorry, not ghost children, but I think someone checking in on them. Never say sorry. That's a
Oh,
fantastic story, and I'm glad you
it's
shared.
an incredible story.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing, Donna. Thank you. We just had so many. It was really great. Thank you so much, everyone. So we have another one from Joanne.
Do you want to read it?
Yeah. Joanne shared, I was assisting my cousin with some accounting in the kitchen on a regular weekly basis at her home. She lived in a 2-story home with a finished basement. On more than one occasion, we would hear footsteps on the stairs. The children were supposed to be in bed. When checking, the children were in bed. No accounting for the footsteps. It was a bit disconcerting to say the least, as we both heard the footsteps on more than one occasion. With time, her youngest, a boy who was perhaps 4 or 5 at the time, would tell his mom he was playing with Queenie.
Ooh.
Just assumed it was an imaginary friend. When she tried to tell him this, he was very insistent, saying that Queenie is a little boy who lived in the house and slept in the dryer at night, unless he tried to go upstairs to be with them. He would play with him during the day. Strange things would happen in the basement playroom, like toys moving or making their operational noises without anyone turning them on. Not sure what happened to Queenie as the little boy grew older, and he stopped talking about it. The family acknowledged Queenie as if he were real. When my nephew and his family moved into a new home, he started talking about his friend Fred. He should not know anyone by that name, yet it kept coming up. We asked if it was a boy or not, but my nephew could not say. This continued for only a few months and then stopped. No explanation from my nephew. My niece felt the house was haunted and wanted to have it saged or blessed, but the spouse would not allow.
Interesting. I know I always, at the people like clients or whatever that I've worked with, I will say to them, plus I've said it on air a lot of times too, that if your young child, usually it's a toddler to preschooler, talking about an imaginary friend, find out more about that imaginary friend.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And we both of our children, like both of yours and all 4 of mine, saw things when they were.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I can still remember my first paranormal experience when I was between 3.5 and 4. I said, well, maybe this time when you come to Thunder Bay, I know we don't have a lot of time, but I think that house is still standing. So it was a house we were on. It was called Archibald Street. And it would have been between 1968 and 1969. And I remember my parents were renovating the house. I think I've told this story on here. And I remember my mother was steaming off the old wallpaper. And at that time, it took 37 layers of wallpaper off the walls to get to the plaster. And the house is still standing. So I can just imagine how many more people.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm. It was a beautiful old house. Creepy as you know what, but mm-hmm. So we got another story. Hang on. This one, I think. Oh, geez, I went too far. I always do. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute here. Is this the one from Trish?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So here is one story, Rhea Ghost Child. I was assisting my cousin with some accounting in the kitchen on a regular.
That's Joanne's. I just read that one.
Oh, I thought I said Trish. Did I copy it wrong? Oh, I went too high up. Please forgive me. Thank you for that, Kerrilynn. So, hello, ladies. I just told the story to my son's girlfriend today, and then I see this. Life is funny sometimes. Thank you for correcting me. I got up one night to use the washroom. I walked into the washroom. There was a little boy standing there that was about 2 heads shorter than our son that looked exactly like him. I'd never seen anything like this before, so I closed my eyes, rubbed them, and tried to readjust my eyes. But when I opened them, he was still standing there. He was wearing a white T-shirt. He was wearing a white T-shirt with writing on it. I couldn't read the writing. He had a little baseball, I think it's supposed to say little baseball hat on, and jeans. I did not tell my husband or son about this. A short time after this, my husband got up to use the washroom, but stopped dead in his tracks in the bedroom, thinking he almost walked into our son in the dark. He turned the light on, and there was no one there. Sorry, I lost me. Give me 1 second. Okay. He described what he saw, and it was 100% the same little boy that I encountered in the washroom weeks before. Again, we didn't say anything to our son. A short time after this, he went down to the basement to have a shower. He came running up the stairs, telling us that he had seen a little boy in the laundry room. I regret not talking to him, but I didn't know what to do or what to say. At this point, I had had 8 late-stage miscarriages, and I have often wondered if this was our son's brother coming to visit. I felt a deep sadness when I didn't see him again, and that I didn't talk to him when I did see him. I hope wherever these little angels are, that they are experiencing nothing but love in the short time they were there with me. Thank you, Trish, for sharing that beautiful story.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think she's kind of right. That's what it kind of feels like, doesn't it? Like it's coming in.
And it's so individual.
Mm-hmm.
And my experience, when it's something different, there's other things that are happening, and it's more rare.
It is, yeah. I mean, if it was something dark, for example,
yes.
What you think, yes.
Yeah. Somebody does something, open up a door, invite something in.
Yeah, there's more I don't question every child's spirit. I should add a proviso. Mm-hmm. Exactly what you're saying. There's got to be other stuff going on, or it's a severe haunting is where I'm going with this. Because children, especially younger children, nobody's born with hate or malice or anything like that, right? I think children are the most purest souls there are, besides maybe our pets, right? Unconditional love. Yeah. And so, yeah, if there's other stuff going on, then that's when it's a little sus. Hello, Wayne Mallows.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Wayne.
Nice to see you. No, we didn't really talk about was changelings.
I know.
Because you said you had come across that, and I did a little bit with Black Eyed Kids. Not that we're leaving the haunted spirits, but that popped into my head.
Mm-hmm. Now, so, sorry. It's been a week.
I do know with changelings, like Varla Ventura now too. And when she first opened her merch store, and she always thought it was such a great idea, and she actually created it for the merch store. It was baby onesies with the word changeling on it. I thought it was so cute.
Which is connected to fairies, is it not?
That's exactly where I was going with it. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if that's the right title anyways, but it's come up with the Black Eyed Kids as a theory that that's what they could be.
I say I don't buy into that.
I don't either. Mm-mm.
Don't. Yep. No.
Thank you.
I personally don't.
He said everything in the plane of his existence is a learned experience taught to you by another human, and I agree 100%. Mm-hmm. It was just interesting that that terminology came up with this. And again, Kerry, thank you so much, because like I say, I have asked that question so many times because I have questions about a few things. And what you shared really resonates. It really, really does about Black Eyed Kids.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I've not seen that movie, Contessa the Changeling.
Contessa, I bet you it's scary. Between you and Kerrilynn, you guys have seen every spooky, scary movie, I swear.
Except I haven't seen that one.
It's when they swap babies. Yes, you were right, Contessa. That's what goes with the fairies, right? Yeah. If you basically upset the fae or the fairies, the legend goes, now I remember it, that they can take your infant and leave a changeling instead. And it's sometimes, depending on the way the story goes, it doesn't look like your baby.
No. And they're to do harm.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Contessa says it was from the 1980s. Yes, it's a good spooky movie. I don't like spooky movies. I wish I did, but I don't.
It's so funny. My youngest son has been into spooky movies a lot right now. Right. And he never used to be. And
I watched Hocus Pocus, both of them. That's my Halloween season, getting in the mood. And then there was always Halloween Town. My kids loved to watch that from Disney. There was 5 different, I think, movies from when the kids were little to almost adult. And Debbie, what was her like? Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds, is it? Plays the grandmother there, and she's the witch. Yeah.
I watched Hocus Pocus for the first time last year.
Oh, like the original or the second one?
Both.
Ah, you never saw Hocus Pocus before?
No.
I think I'll watch Practical Magic tonight. I know it's not really a Halloween movie, but it's a cool, like, I don't mind those kind of movies, but I just, what it is, I don't like jump scares. I just hate them. I've said this before, even a suspenseful movie that I have seen before, and I'm not thinking about doing this. There's a suspenseful part coming up. I know what's going to happen, but still, what do? I get up and I start walking around and I start pacing and I got to get moving. Like, and it's like, dude, you know what's going to happen. They haven't changed.
Yeah. I'll sometimes still cover my eyes, but I still like doing it.
Do you? Oh, yeah, Contessa said
Contessa
said she just watched the new Conjuring movie. It was so good.
So, but not accurate. So let's be clear about that too. It's not accurate. It's part of the movie series.
I've seen the Conjuring movie. I'm pretty sure I've seen one of the Conjuring movies. I'm positive I have.
So this one is about the Smurl family haunting. And and they're saying it's a very good part of this series of Conjuring movies, but it's not accurate.
A lot of stuff on TV isn't, though, especially if they're going from real life, right?
Yeah. So my suggestion, so I know that I've had her agreed, most of them are not, and so if you have the opportunity, if you are a reader, Andrea Perrin wrote the books about her experience growing up in the Conjuring house, and I just, they're thick, they're a hard read, and I loved it, especially if you were a kid that had experiences when you were younger as well too. Like, you just resonate with it, and I resonated with Andrea's. Like, she almost felt sad, even though there was horrible things that were happening. She felt sad for these spirits where she knew that horrible things had happened to them too, and there was a connection with them, and I resonated with that as well too. So, yeah, so reading her books are would be high on my list. And Rebecca F. Pittman, she has The History and Haunting of, and she's written about the Enfield House.
I think I remember her on your show. She's yes, Yes, I remember.
Lizzie Borden.
Yeah,
And
I remember the one with Lizzie Borden. I think both of them. But
yeah, so I just finished reading her book about the Smurl family haunting, and she's very well researched, and so it was really good. The Last Witch Hunter. Oh my gosh, that one was pretty fun too.
I haven't. Is it scary? Obviously, it probably is. Is it? I don't know.
No, I didn't find it super. I didn't find it scary.
No.
Mm-mm.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I don't know. You know what movie? What series I liked, and I'm sad that they didn't go for another season. Is with Kevin Bacon and the Bondsman. Was it the Bondsman? That they went after a different demon every week.
Yeah,
I like that series. It's too bad they didn't continue.
Agreed. It's not scary like a jump scare, but very, very telling. And
I love the series The Witcher, but not Witch Hunter. I've never seen. I might have to check it out. So, Contessa, you say they're making a second to the last Witch Hunter movie? Is that what you said? Oh, I don't want scary, Wayne. He goes the fourth kind if you want scary based on a true story.
So is it based on a true story? I didn't think that it was. Loosely based on a true story?
I don't know.
I didn't think it was. I thought it was, because I agree. And I've watched that movie over and over and over again. And I thought it was, but then I thought I read that maybe I was gaslighting myself. I don't know. But
the thing that really scares me is when you see psychological thrillers of people that have severe mental illness, or, really awful things. Because I remember in third year university, I worked on the locked ward at our psych hospital. No longer stands, as in many places I know in North America. But some of the things I saw there, I went, yeah, I could see why sometimes people, it's not ghosts that scare us, it's people that do.
Oh yeah, for sure.
More about the Witcher series too. Sorry, go ahead.
Movie The Fall.
Oh wait, that's not the movie I heard about. Okay, so now you gotta tell me about it.
So I'm very scared of heights, right? Very, very scared of heights, and scared of stairs with no risers. So this movie is like about a rock climber and this friend, and they climb this like tower, this very tall tower, and the whole thing is like this about the heights. And that movie, I had sweaty palms. I had to get up and walk around. I was so frightened watching this movie about the height. So I agree, Carrie. Contessa, I think that she can handle The Last Witch Hunter as well too. It's Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I can handle it. Well, The Witcher had some creepy looking creatures in there. I love the reason why I like the Lord of the Rings or any type of series back in that time. You know what made me think of you today? Apparently there is Downton Abbey. The finale is out in theaters right now.
Oh, tell me again. Oh, Downton Abbey. Oh, I've never watched it, but my daughter keeps telling me to.
I thought you watched it. You didn't watch it?
No, I watched
Once you start, because I kept hearing so much about it. Once you start, you won't be able to stop, because it's not spooky, but it's just the scenery and the costumes. And I have to say this about British series or TV. They're always so original, but also they take regular everyday people and put them into series. And I love that. Not everybody is running around looking like they should be a supermodel. And that's what I think it makes it more relatable and real to life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So Contessa loves it too.
Yeah, good. I love the Brits too.
Hi, Kimberly.
Hi, Kimberly. Thank you for being here. I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, you know what? So there were a couple of series that people kept talking. Like I never watched Game of Thrones either, and finally, I just relented and went on a binge and watched it. Like I don't just sit and watch TV though. I got to be doing something while I'm watching, and that was good till the last season. And but I know that he's not because he's not here. It's the middle of the night, but sometimes he pops in. He's in Sri Lanka, and he kept warning me, "You're going to hate the ending, Lorilei." And remember, we talked about the dragon. What happened to that beautiful dragon in the series? We won't ruin it for people, but that was so wrong. There was no ghosts in that series, though. I don't think, was there?
Zombies.
Zombies, yes.
Night
No
walkers.
black-eyed kids.
Night walkers. No black-eyed kids.
No. So I'm telling you guys, it is a strange phenomena, the black-eyed kids. So we could have probably done a week of shows, probably a week's worth, like of both topics if you wanted to.
So if anything, I would feel the takeaway is don't invite them in and don't play the low tone frequencies, inviting
Definitely.
them in.
Now that changes it with what Carrie suggested she believes they are from her research. That why did the low tone frequency work? And Carrie said she wasn't here when we played the video. She had just popped in when she started commenting because it was that now and it so resonates with what you shared, Carrie, about what you believe they are through your research. It's the best explanation I've ever heard, and it feels right. So who's coming on your show? Well, before you answer that, we should let people know second night of the Outer Round tonight, coming up right after this in a few minutes with the lovely and amazing Michelle DeRoche.
So, sorry, Carrie is sharing, the technology they emit makes people sick, the low frequency.
Yeah, but somebody played a low frequency nonstop for 5 days straight. And on the 5th night, a kid showed up on their doorstep, and they live in the middle of BF nowhere. Super long driveway. Again, Kerrilynn and I said we have questions, right? Like, how do we know for sure it was a black-eyed kid? But that was the intention and why he was playing it. Did I miss anything? Yeah.
Tomorrow on Spirit Switchboard. So tomorrow night's on Spirit Switchboard, 6 p.m. Eastern. I have Heather McLaughlin coming on from The Forest. Her website is Come to the Forest. And we are going to be talking about forest bathing, connecting with nature, grounding, intuition, our path and purpose, finding our path and purpose. We're going to be talking about all kinds of connecting it with our community, creating community, and creating community through nature and our ancestors. So we're going to be talking about all of that stuff tomorrow night.
That sounds amazing.
How about you on Monday? Well, I'm going to, sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm just going to promote like next week too, folks. Not that Heather's not going to be a great show, but I do have Snipe coming back on.
I love Snipe.
Everyone loves Snipe. So Snipe is coming back on next week.
Of course, you had to throw that in there. So on Monday, I have Sonia Roy coming on. She's an ex-Royal Canadian. Yes, she's an ex-Royal Canadian Mounted Police officer, bilingual, First Nations, psychic, medium, and healer. And she's been on. She comes on at least three times a year. But you know what? She's always writing books. She's got some incredible healing techniques, and I have no idea what we're talking about, but I guarantee you she's gone to some incredible places since I last had her on. I think to Japan, and I don't want to say Nepal, but I'm telling you, we're going to have a great show. I know that. Week after, I have to promote the week after. So 2 Mondays from now, we have the incredible, amazing Kat Ward from Paranormal Heart. Finally coming on the
So fun. So I get to meet her in person.
Oh, rub it in.
November 1st when I'm at the Station Theater doing Love Life Afterlife. So she's going to come and we're going to investigate the theater after. So I'm hoping that we can do a bunch of like quick videos for everybody and say hello. So
I think we might have a minute or two to answer this question because I thought it was a good question, Mort. So he's asking, what would be considered a low frequency? 5 megahertz, for example? I have no idea.
I don't know.
So maybe, Kerry, I hate to pick your brain here, but since you've had quite a bit of research and stuff, because she had also added that she feels they're attracted by low frequency.
Yeah.
She said the low frequency attracts them. She goes, it was like a summoning invite to come to the house, contract of invite.
Yeah. And that's what we were saying earlier, except for the contract part.
And Heidi says she loves Kat. We all love Kat.
We do. We do love Kat. Her show is Tuesday evenings, folks, on UPRN.
On UPRN. And believe it or not, because we just don't get to talk to one another, had she not popped in, I already said with Astrolight Paranormal, thank you. She said, great show. Thank you, Kerrilynn and Lorilei. Very interesting. I said this Monday night because my guest, we had cancellation. So I got to do a show on my own, which was super fun. I said this to you, Victoria, we have to connect because I said I would love to have you on. It's not going to be February, but I would love to have you on the Angel Rock.
Yeah. Victoria was on Spirit Switchboard. So Victoria is also
That's how I met her from you.
She's going to be at Smith's Falls at the Station Theater as well too. So she has investigated there before, her and her family. So she investigates with her husband and daughter, and she's going to be there for the event. So I'm really excited.
That's how I met Victoria, was from you, from watching her on your show, and then she comes to our shows. And then Kat was there, and in the beginning, when you're scrolling, there's comments going by, I got her and Kat mixed up. Had no idea Kat was on our network. And then you told me you've been buddies ever since Kat and I too. So Kerrilynn connects me with lots of good people. I appreciate it.
The network has so many great people.
Yeah. We do. Well, you guys, it's almost time to head out, but hang on to your hats, hang on to your seats. The amazing, like I said, Michelle DeRoche is coming up next with the second night of the Outer Realm right after this. So
thank you.
Go ahead. I don't have my thing. Connie or Contessa can't wait to see us what we dress up for.
Yes, it's coming. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining us here on Beneath the Hollow Moon. Thank you to the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 in the Gulf Coast, 107.7 FM in New Orleans. So thank you again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Thank you for participating. We appreciate you sharing your knowledge and asking questions. It really helps make the show and our community grow. So we appreciate you very much. So until next week, step back into the shadows, and whatever you do, don't follow the whispers.
Love y'all. Stay tuned.
Bradshaw Ranch next week, folks. We're talking about Bradshaw Ranch.
Yes, and I'm hanging out with you tomorrow on Friday. I'm hoping to be there, but that's why I ran to the grocery store. So I usually go on Fridays. So I'm going to be there. I want to see you. Thanks, everybody, for being here.
Right.
Love y'all. We'll see you soon. See you tomorrow and on Monday, and then Thursday again next week.
Bye.